matches and only won 6 racks along the way. Now, in the words of David Bowie, all the way from Washington, it's Christina to catch, who of course has been involved in the tournament, and I'm delighted she's alongside us this evening for a bit of commentary. Welcome along, Christina. How's your week been here?
Well, it's, first of all, hello everybody, and it's been very exciting for me to be here and playing my first Matchroom event, and it's been great. I really enjoy being here, and I think you guys doing a great job organizing all those tournaments, especially in this hard times as pandemic. So it's a definitely great tournament, new tournament in our calendar that we are really looking forward to play more in the upcoming years.
Okay, we'll talk to you a bit more about your experiences during the week as the evening unfolds. Got to say, it makes me feel very old to be commentating with someone who is literally half my age. But here we are together, and Billy Thorpe has got us off and running. And a good break there, Christina.
Yep, and he's got the position to run the table. And the only problem here, I would say, as a 5-ball, I don't really think it's passing the 8. Perhaps he'll try to split it up.
Billy Thorpe has been around for some time in this competition. He actually started out on Wednesday. He only won 3 of his 6 matches. That was just enough for him to squeak through to the semi-finals. He lost there to David Al-Kadi in a hill-hill finish. Then on Thursday, only 2 wins out of 6. Didn't get him to the semis, but it kept him in the tournament. And then yesterday, finished strongly, winning 3 of his matches. That got him through in 3rd place, and he was beaten in the group semi-final by Roberto Gomez. And of course, as I said, Christina, he only won 2 of his matches on Thursday. 1 of the 4 he lost was against you, and I guess that win was probably the high point of your week.
Against
Billy.
Billy, yeah. It was definitely a very hard match for me. But I was a little lucky and he didn't play his best, so altogether made me actually win this game. Yep. But he's a great player, and I'm sure with every single tournament he's playing only better and better.
Yeah, he's having a good day today. 3 wins out of 4, which is unusual actually in the context of his week. He's generally been a slow starter, but he's had a bad miss there. So Matikainen may have still hope in this opening rack. It's been a tough day for him, really. He started out with a 5-0 defeat to Alex Kazakis and was really struggling. Even by the end of his 2nd match against Alban Ocean, he'd still won only 1 rack in total. Good win over Roberto Gomez, but then from 4-1 up against Mark Bijsterbosch, he was beaten by 5 racks to 4. So he's got to put that out of his head now and battle on, because he's still got a chance of getting through to the semi-finals. And he's played that well. Good pot on the 4 and a chance here at the 5.
Let's see if he can actually see it. Yeah. So
maybe the pot wasn't actually on.
No, I think he's tried to spin it on in the pocket. Because as I said earlier, Billy tried to split the 5-8 combination and losing position actually for the 4 that caused him missing it. But now he's got a chance. Come back to the table and win the first point of this match.
Could have done with that running a little further, but he's okay.
Well, not the best position for the 8-ball. I believe he tried to play it in a right long pocket.
Oh, and he's left this, I think. So a chance for Matikainen here to win the first rack against the break. Two very young players. Thorpe still only 24, although he's been around a while, and Matikainen is only 23.
Yeah, it's a definitely new generation of pool players. It's a great shot. Very confident.
Yeah, he's played that perfectly. And as you say, Christina, looking very confident on that shot, which is a good sign because his confidence has maybe taken a few knocks today, particularly in losing his last match from 4-1 up.
Yeah, it's very hard to play, you know, your first day. And I believe even if you're very experienced and played a lot of tournaments all over the world, still playing on this stage with so many people watching you, a lot of pressure, short races, anything can happen. It's definitely putting a lot of pressure on you.
Would you have had much experience, Christina, of playing against players of this level?
No, to be honest, I did play some, of course, but not consistently, and I would say that it was the first time I played so many matches with top players. So it's definitely a great experience for me, and to be honest, it gave me a thought to compete more among men, and probably once Euro Tour is coming back, I'll try consistently playing in the men events too, because I'm sure it's very good, it's very helpful for your game when somebody consistently punishing you for your mistakes.
Yeah, you learn fast, don't you?
Yeah.
But there are women's Euro Tour events as well, and you've won some of those already.
Yep, I won seven Euro Tours. Yeah, but I'd like to compete among men again because you don't really have a lot of chances among women, you know, to try to always keep your game up, because, you know, sometimes you can get away with some mistakes and still win the match, and it definitely doesn't happen with the men.
Have you found that to be the big difference this week, that when you make a mistake you usually end up losing the rack?
Yeah, well, you have to understand, playing with those level players, you can't expect for their mistake. You just have to make your own chances to win. You don't have to wait the chance. You have to create this opportunity yourself by making a great save or break and run. So yeah, it definitely discipline you in a game somehow too.
It's 1-1 on the other table between Mark Bijsterbosch and Roberto Gomez. Back here, Casper Matikainen leading by 1-0, and he's got us underway now in rack 2. Nice position on the 2 here, Christina, but what about the rest of the balls?
Well, I don't see obvious problems on the table right now. The only shot he has to make is this, and it looks like he did just fine. A little bit short, but I think he can just play follow, just make the ball and leave the 4-ball for the left corner pocket.
Yeah, could have done without having to use the bridge and turning it on its side as well, but the 3 is over the pocket, so shouldn't really be too much of a problem for him. But
you know, playing with the rest sometimes can be tricky, because even if it looks easy, you still have to be very precise with the shot and make sure that you pay enough attention. It's very easy to miss with playing with the rest.
Yeah, and he's in prime position now. We'll have to bridge over the 7 again, but not really a problem. He's been making an impact the last few years, got to the last 32 of the World 9 Ball in 2018, and almost went further. He was only beaten 11-9 by Alex Kazakis. But I think the result he's best known for came in the World Championship the following year when he beat Joshua Filler, the defending champion, as early as the last 64. He was 4-1 down as well, came back to win 11-7. Then he beat Alban Ocean, and was only beaten 11-10 in the quarter-finals by Chang Young Lin. So he clearly has no problem playing against the very best players, even over the long distances. And he's looking very good now for a 2-0 lead.
He's definitely a very talented player, but also he's very hard worker, and definitely pays off.
Yeah, I think he struggled, made a few bad mistakes, some elementary errors.
But also it was his very first match of the tournament, and as we talked earlier, it's very easy to catch this nerves and be shaking, be very nervous, so it's very understandable.
Absolutely. And was that how you felt coming into it? Did you feel very nervous before your first match?
Yeah, I was shaking. Like, I had the same feeling as I got when I just played my first tournament in my life. You know, it's very unique feelings, very unique, like, panic. I don't know, it's like you're feeling scared of playing and you just want to get back to your chair and a little comfort zone. But yeah, it does happen with a lot of players, even experienced one, because as I mentioned earlier, when there's a lot of pressure, a lot of people watching, and everybody's looking up to you, especially if you're a new player, rookie, right?
Did you find it a bit overwhelming, a bit intimidating, playing in an environment like this, playing in this sort of an arena, because you certainly wouldn't be used to that?
Yeah, and definitely the setup for the tournament already makes you scared being there. It looks a lot like a Moscone Cup arena, and it's definitely overwhelming.
In a way, though, it's perhaps a good thing for you that there's no crowd here, because it enables you to maybe just ease your way into that without the added pressure of hundreds of people watching as well in the arena.
That's true. It does really help to play by yourself. You feel like you're just one-to-one with your opponent. Nobody is distracting you, so it's very easier to concentrate on your match and on what you have to do. But still, it doesn't make it easier if you play the first time.
Do you feel the next time you play in an event like this, you'll be much more comfortable from the start?
Yeah, I wouldn't say less nervous, but more comfortable, because also it's my first time playing this Matchroom event, this big stage among the best players in the world, and you know, a lot of people look up to you, and you know, you gotta kind of show them why you've been invited here, right? So it's putting a little pressure on you, extra pressure.
Yeah, your first Matchroom event, as you say, but I'm sure there'll be many more to come in the near future. Billy Thorpe potted 3 balls off the break and really should run it out from here to get his first on the board in this one. Famed for his ability on bank shots. He was struggling with them a bit earlier, actually, but not there.
Very unfortunate mistake.
Well, that's extraordinary.
I think he lost a little bit of focus over there.
Yeah, it seemed he'd done the hard work. Straightforward from that position. But what a chance for Matikainen now. He probably thought he'd be staying in his chair for the rest of this rack. Instead of which, he's got a good chance to move within 2 racks of winning the match. It was announced yesterday he's going to be playing for Finland in the World Cup of Pool coming up shortly. And a big history in that event for Finland that he'll be looking to continue. Little bit of work to do on the 8 here, but should be fairly routine. The only reason I'm mentioning it is it's the sort of shot that he's had a little bit of trouble with today, particularly so in his earlier matches. But perfect on the 9. Well, what a mistake by Billy Thorpe. Just when it looked as though he was going to get a foothold in the match, a really bad error, and Casper Matikainen has punished him to the full. The man from Finland leads 3-0, and he'll be breaking in the 4th when we come back.
maybe off the 8. Oh, trick shot by Woodward. What a shot by Evolution.
One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution.
Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table and just hit.
This championship is being played with the new Aramith tournament set. Featuring a unique molecular structure, it guarantees razor-sharp precision and unsurpassed longevity. Unquestionably the best pool balls in the world, this set is available in a TV and a value pack version, as well as in the new My Aramith range of ball and cue cases. Now you can bring and play with the best ball set everywhere you go. My Aramith, bringing new dimensions to your billiards experience.
And welcome back to Milton Keynes, where I'm in the company of Christina to catch the rising star of the ladies' game from Russia. Maybe not for much longer though, because Casper Matikainen is zooming towards the winning line here. He capitalised on a dreadful error by Billy Thorpe to win rack 3, so he's now 3-0 up, and he's got the break in the 4th. Well, has he been unlucky there on the 1, or can he get through to it?
I think he can see it. He's looking at the position now, so I'm pretty sure he can actually play the 1 ball.
Yeah, I think we could see from the overhead angle that he's fine for getting past the 7. Well, this is just the start he needed to the evening after a tough afternoon. Looked like he was going to finish it with 2 wins out of 4, which would have been very good after starting with back-to-back defeats, only winning 1 rack in those first 2 matches, as I say. But he couldn't get the job done against Mark Bijsterbosch, and the Dutchman came from 4-1 down to beat him. So this is a really good response. He's gone off, had some dinner, reset his mind, and a wonderful chance to make a winning start to the evening's play. So I said earlier, Christina, you've come from Washington and you're based there a lot of the time, but also still based in Russia a lot of the time as well.
Yeah, I live between 2 countries, but during the pandemic I wanted to stay home because I felt a little safer. But once the things settled down a little bit in Russia, I decided to come back in America. So I've stayed there since January, and I'm planning to stay a little longer, just to see if there's going to be any tournaments in Europe like Eurotour. But Europe doesn't look really good right now, so I'm not sure if there's going to be any events before fall.
Yeah, it's very uncertain times at the moment, and it must be frustrating for you because obviously you're so young. I'm sure you want to play as many tournaments as you can, and you were starting to get a bit of rhythm going. I know you were doing well in the States, but you were kind of stopped in your tracks then by COVID. That must be very hard to take.
Yeah, but you know, I tried to to take as an opportunity to develop my game, to develop myself as a person, and it definitely gave me a lot of more than playing all those tournaments. You know what I mean? Like trying to analyze a lot of things, think about what I want, how I want them, how I want those things I'm in. So it was definitely a very useful time for me, and I think I did gain for my game so much more by practicing and analyzing my game more than playing any tournaments. So COVID was actually a blessing for me.
I'm glad someone can say that. Okay, so a little bit of work to do again for Matikainen. He's taking a moment to study this, but he knows this is such a big chance for him here. Wouldn't have expected that he was going to find himself in this position of being 2 balls away from leading 4-0. And it would be quite an achievement, given the start he made. If he was to find himself in the semi-finals, he'd be delighted with his day's work.
Yeah, I believe he needs to win 2 matches.
Yeah, I mean, generally you need to win 3 out of the 6 to be in the running, and he's won 1 so far. So that would suggest, yeah, he needs to win them both this evening in all probability. And finishes with a bank shot. Casper Matikainen. Oh, where's the cue ball? Oh. And just as I was about to say, he's leading 4-0. He scratches in the side. What a turning point that could be. So not 4-0. In fact, it's 3-1. And Thorpe will have the break in the next rack. Well, that's the last thing you need when the day's been going against you. So while they're being racked up again, Christina, I want to ask you about pool in Russia and how big it is. I mean, obviously Fedor Gorst is the world champion and, like yourself, one of the rising stars of the pool world. What kind of level of interest is there in the game over there?
Being honest, none. We don't have big pool in Russia because we have our own game. I don't know if you guys know about it. It's a Russian pyramid.
Oh yeah, we know about that.
Yeah, so a lot of players playing there, and it's very big. So basically most of the pool halls having Russian pyramid table, and we have only like 2 decent places where you can actually practice, which is really sad because Moscow is a huge city, and I wouldn't say there's also a lot of players. They try to make a government schools with pool though, but it's tough because there is no sponsorships. It's very hard to pay your own money to travel, and obviously it's very expensive. So it's not as popular definitely as in US, for example, when you can find a pool hall in every single city in America, and there's always going to be a bunch of people playing. But I hope one day it's going to change, because obviously pool is a great game, and sadly a lot of people back home still associate it with something bad like gambling, stuff like this. So
with all that in mind then, how did you start playing pool?
My dad brought me into pool. He played Russian pyramid before, and he brought me once to his practice, and he gave me a cue to try, and I couldn't reach the table because obviously, you know, Russian pyramid table is higher, like a snooker height, and I was like really short. I mean, I'm still really short. So, but back then I couldn't reach the table, so that's why he said, hey, let's try pool. It's like shorter table, why not? And this is how it started.
So what age were you then?
8. I was 8 years old.
And was it something that you found you had a talent for it straight away, or did it take a bit longer?
To be honest, I don't know, because I was 8 years old and my dad always wanted me to play it. So I didn't really have a chance to understand, because, you know, I was just practicing, but I believe he wanted me to be professional from the young age. Because he was a professional athlete himself. In the past, he was a fighter.
A boxer? Or wrestling?
Judo.
Oh, judo. Okay.
He did judo, and he won a bunch of national titles, but then he moved, because I'm half Ukrainian actually, so he moved he moved to Moscow in age of 16 and having me, and decided to try me as an athlete, professional athlete. So basically he treated this game, even back then, very professionally, that you can actually be have it as a job.
While we were talking there, I think we were expecting Billy Thorpe to run out, but again he's had a bad miss. Not his first in this game by any means, and again a chance for Matikainen to pounce on that and go 4-1 up. And of course Matikainen would then have the break in the next rack. You mentioned that you're half Ukrainian there, and you're probably aware, as Matikainen then misses the 6, that the youngest professional snooker player in the world is Yulian Boyko from Ukraine. I don't know if you know him.
I heard about her. Oh, it's him, yeah. I heard about him.
Yeah, he beat the former British Open champion Fergal O'Brien just a few weeks ago.
To be honest, I'm not really following snooker. It's my confession, saying it in England, that I'm not really following snooker. Even though I really love this game, and when I was younger, I always used to watch it with my dad. But now I try to watch more pool, try to learn from the game, but snooker definitely gives me a lot of inspiration, especially for my stroke. As you guys mentioned before in the commentary, I was watching my game and listening to your commentary. You said that I have like a very big pause in between and also before I start shooting. So this comes a lot from snooker, because this is why my dad teach me. He teach me a snooker stroke actually.
Wow, he just can't get that 6 ball down, can he? And it's really been a tale of mistakes, this rack. Whoever loses it is going to be sick about it now, because they've both had great chances and both missed some bad balls here.
It looks like they're both struggling.
Okay, so Thorpe with a chance here to close to 3-2. Well, this is not quite straightforward, and given some of the shots we've seen in this rack, I don't think anything would be at the moment. A lot of tension out there. All these players know, after today, there's only one more chance to get into the winners group.
It's a very important rack for Billy. It's very important to make this 8 ball and close this gap a little bit, because on the race to 5 you can't afford to actually make any mistakes and giving up racks. You have to take every opportunity you have.
Well, Thorpe had a bad miss early on. Matikainen, though, missed the 6 ball twice. So, just a few minutes ago, it looked like Casper Matikainen was going to lead 4-0, but it's all turned around. Thorpe has closed now to 3-2 down. So, what's your sort of practice situation, Christina? Are you practicing full-time every day?
I do. I treat it as my full-time job, because obviously this is how I make my money, and I want to make sure that I treat it as I supposed to. So I kind of having my daily routine. I try to practice as much as I can, but obviously when I'm in America, especially if I'm on a trip, I'm playing a lot. That are also very helpful, but anytime I come back home, or when I'm in DC, actually I have a pool table at home. Not me, but the girl I will stay with. I can practice and work on my game.
Kelly Fisher was here this week, and you played her, and you beat her, of course, and, you know, she's another person who went off as a young woman from Europe to go to America, base herself there and play pool, and she's made a very good living out of it. Have you been talking to her this week and maybe getting some advice from her on how to go about it?
We actually talked about it before, year ago, in life before pandemic. That's what I'm saying.
A different world, Christina.
Yeah, and I was asking her some questions about American visas, working visas, green card, because this is what I'm looking for. Just to have it in case, you know, because you never know what can happen in your own country. So I was taking some advices from her about it.
Matikainen 3-2 up, but it could have been oh so different for him at this stage. Can he get things back on track?
Well, he's got this chance to recover right now. Not an easy start on the one ball, but it's very makeable.
Yeah, he's played that well, and this has been the story of this match for him. He's played a lot of very good stuff. It's just some basic things that have let him down, and that's actually been the case throughout the day for him. So do you see America now as your home for the foreseeable future?
No, it's very different. Like, it's a great way to improve your game by playing a lot of tournaments, making money, but living wise it's very different. People are very different, and I would find it very hard for myself to adjust over there, but we will see. You never know. But I definitely enjoy my time in America, and you know, pool is huge there, and what else do you need as a pool player? Every week you can go to some tournament, and so many people actually playing, watching, so makes you feel good that actually there's so many pool fans, and hoping that it's one day it's going to be in Olympics.
We were talking about that earlier with Niels Fyan, actually, that all Q Sports may end up in the Olympics. I know there are some people working very hard to make that happen. And obviously there is an Olympics coming up in America in the near future, in LA, scheduled for 2028. So as you say, Christina, the game's so big over there, maybe that could be a chance for it, but we'll see.
That's what I thought. If it ever going to be included in Olympics, it's going to be only in America.
Oh, what's he done here? Well, he's okay. He was looking a bit anxiously there, thought he was maybe going to overrun that on the 7. Really got to see it out from here, though.
I'm still pretty sure it's very, very thin cut. He gotta make sure he doesn't scratch.
Well, he's already had one expensive scratch in the 4th rack. He thought he was going to lead 4-0. He didn't, but he does lead 4-2. Casper Matikainen is on the hill. We'll be back in a moment.
This championship is being played with the new Aramith tournament set. Featuring a unique molecular structure, it guarantees razor-sharp precision and unsurpassed longevity. Unquestionably the best bull balls in the world, this set is available in a TV and a value pack version, as well as in the new My Aramith Ranger of Ball and Q cases. Now you can bring and play with the best ball set everywhere you go. My Aramith, bringing new dimensions to your billiards experience.
Welcome back to Milton Keynes on a Saturday night, Group 6 of the Predator Championship League. Kristina Tkach, the rising young star from Russia who played in 2 groups earlier in the week, is alongside me in the commentary box. We may be watching Casper Matikainen get his 2nd win of the day. He's on the hill, leading 4-2, but Billy Thorpe has the break. And I think he can just get past the 6 to the 1.
Do you think he's gonna go for the shot in this side pocket?
Well, if he can get through to it, he could maybe make the 1-4 combination. But listen, you're the player. What would you do?
It depends. It's hard to judge from the angle that we have if he actually can see the whole ball, but I wouldn't go for this combination because the 4 ball is not really into a pocket and would be very easy to miss.
So in the end, he's just played the safety and he's played it pretty well. What would you say, Kristina, are the things you need to work on? What areas of your game would you like to improve in the next year or 2?
Break. Definitely a break. Sometimes I feel like I just don't have enough power to break harder, no matter how, how much efforts I actually put into the shot. So I definitely would like to improve that by maybe working out more in the gym, gaining more muscles. I believe is going to help. And also stroke, mental game. A lot of if you ask any player what would you like to improve, you're gonna hear all those things like safeties, break, kicking,
Everything really.
Yeah, everything, because it's endless. There's no limit for your level of the game. So jump shots, everything, and I feel like it's normal not always being satisfied with your game completely. This is how I feel always, no matter how good I play, I always find something that I'm not happy about in my game, even though I win. So it gives me more motivation to practice, knowing that, there's still some things working on, and I think it's very important to stay open for learning if you want to develop your game.
But do you feel that's it? Do you think your physical size, because you said yourself you're quite a small woman, do you think that is a problem with the breaking?
Can be, but it's also about timing, the right timing. I know it's very important, and this is my endless story with breaking, because I'm actually practicing a lot of the break, but it's just very hard for me to figure out. But I'll definitely try to work harder, and again, playing with a man in events like this, showing you one more time that it's extremely important to have a powerful break.
Yeah, well, you look at someone like Ralph Souquet, still playing in his 50s. You've got another 30 years in the game at least, so plenty of time to figure these things out and keep on improving. While we've been talking, Casper Matikainen has been advancing towards the finish here. Does the 8 go past the 9?
Doesn't look like.
No, it doesn't, does it?
It didn't.
So Billy Thorpe really in the last chance saloon here. 4-2 down, and he's got to play a good shot here. No surprise that he's taking his extension. Just recomposing himself. Well, he's played that well.
So I think he's looking to do the same as Billy did, just slightly touch the 8 ball and try to put the 8 ball or cue ball behind the 9, but I think he'll have a good opportunity for Billy to make this 8 ball.
Not to be. And has he left it?
Pretty sure he did.
Yeah, we'll know for sure from here. It looks as though he hasn't been saved by the 9, so that could be the end of Billy Thorpe's match. I can tell you Roberto Gomez has beaten Mark Bijsterbosch 5-3 on the other table, and Bijsterbosch is back on there now, playing Mieszko Fortuński. So a big win for Casper Matikainen if this goes in. And that's the end of that. So he's still very much in contention for a place in the semi-finals. Christina, I'm just sorry the match is over because I'm enjoying talking to you so much, but maybe we'll get the chance to speak